Welcome everyone to day 3 of our 2020 JASPYS Awards. I'm Kelly Carroll from the Sports Communication Office, and I hope you've been following along on our social media channels and have seen all the fantastic accomplishments of our student athletes and spirit squads this past season. Traditionally, our in-person JASPYS events have included live interviews with our major award winners, so we are excited to keep that tradition alive today. Over the next hour, we'll be hearing from our comeback player, our rookies of the year, our student athletes of the year, and finally from Mr. and Ms. Jasper. We'll start things off with our 2020 comeback player of the year, Will Trocchiano. Will is a junior infielder from the Manhattan baseball team, hitting .333 this season with a team high 13 runs, 2 doubles, and 4 RBI. Will, how are you today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. Now, a comeback player of the year is a really important award because it means you've overcome adversity and you've overcome challenges. So as much as you want to share, can you tell us a little bit about what your injury was?
All right. So my injury was I ended up breaking my elbow my freshman year halfway through the season. And then with complications going on, trying to come back onto the field, even my sophomore year, I had some setbacks. I wasn't able to come back and play. So I was able to come back this year, my junior season. I was so happy to be back out there playing with my teammates again.
So what was that process like to come back? You know, I'm sure it was hours in the training room, hours in the weight room. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of stuff you had to do?
Yeah, so it was every day physical therapy. I had to do it at least once a day, at least 1 hour every day. And I had to work hard, always trying to get back out there. I mean, it was tough watching all my teammates practice, and I wasn't being a part of that. And I wanted to do anything to get back out there, and it was killing me. So doing all the physical therapy I had to do just to get healthy again.
So season opener, you guys played Air Force. After sitting out a whole year, you come into the game, you go 3 for 4 with a run. What did it feel like to first game back have such a powerful comeback?
It felt like I didn't skip a beat, honestly. It felt like I was right back out there like it was yesterday playing baseball. Yeah, sitting out for 2 years, it's some sort of, it gave me perspective to see like how much I really appreciated it, and I took baseball for granted. And being back out there, I knew I wasn't going to let my opportunity go away from me. I was going to seize it, and I was going to take it.
So now that you have gone through all of this and you have a little bit of perspective to share, do you have any advice for your fellow Jaspers who might currently be injured or who maybe even, unfortunately, may get injured in the future on how they can have comebacks of their own?
So when it comes to injury, times are going to get tough, and you're going to have to be a little selfish and put yourself first and taking care of your body. And when times get tough, you really have to persevere. Even when you feel like you're going to quit and there's no other options, you know, there's light at the end of that tunnel, and you just got to push through and show everyone else and yourself that you can make it through an injury.
That's awesome advice. I'm going to use that too, just in case I get injured playing my sport. So I think too, being a comeback player and having to be super self-motivated and persevere, you probably also have a unique view on how to spend downtime. And since all of us, all students at Manhattan College, all staff are currently, you know, quarantined and self-isolating, do you have any specific tips or tricks for having to keep yourself entertained during this downtime, or what you can do to kind of stay motivated during this downtime?
So what I like to do is at least every day, you want to feel like you're making some sort of progress. I can't feel like I'm doing nothing for the day. I feel like I'll be going backwards if I don't move forwards. So I always want to have something to look forward to. So I always want to be getting better. So every day since I've been home, I've been working out or having stretching sessions or doing something to get me better, to work on my craft, just something to keep me positive and looking forward to the next season or whenever that will be.
Well, that's awesome. And we thank you, Will, for your time. And I thank you for being so dedicated to Jasper Nation, that you put in the time and the effort to make this comeback for your team, for your coaches, for all your fellow Jasper teams. It's really nice to have a role model like you that we can all look to if we're dealing with our own comeback stories. So thank you very much, and congratulations on this award.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So next up, we will turn to our Rookies of the Year. And first, we will talk to our 2020 Female Rookie of the Year, Emily Lapointe. So Emily came in from the women's basketball team and had a really dominant first season, earning unanimous MAC Rookie of the Year honors. She was also named to the All-Met third team. She's the first Jasper to earn that honor since Kayla Grimmie in 2018. So Emily, welcome and congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
It's nice to have you here today. You've won a lot of awards this season. I really just named a few. You also had 8 Rookie of the Week honors, and it seemed like I was doing a lot of work this season to keep up with your awards. But is there something special about being named the Manhattan College Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, for sure. Being named Rookie of the Year was special in itself, but when I was named Manhattan College's Rookie of the Year, that was something really touching because, you know, it's a community and we're filled with student athletes who excel both on and off the court or the field or whatever it is in the sport that they're playing. And it was just really nice because, you know, I have friends that are on other teams and they're freshmen as well, and they did great in their sport. So it was really a competitive year for our rookies. So to be named it for the school was something really special, and it was just overwhelming the amount of support I had, especially from like my fellow peers. So yeah, it was definitely special.
So you made your first collegiate start at Villanova, which is a big-time program, and you went on to lead the team in that game with 18 points. Was that the performance that made you think, you know, MAC Rookie of the Year, Manhattan Rookie of the Year honors might be possible?
So that was most nerve-wracking game, I think, because it was such a big school. So I was definitely nervous, and when I performed the way I did, you know, it gave me a different level of confidence in myself and in my teammates because I saw how much they believed in me. But I was never really focused on getting Rookie of the Year or, you know, Rookie of the Year for the Jaspers. I really just wanted to do the best I could for my team and for my coaches. So the main goal for me was always winning. So just to have that award is definitely a plus and a blessing, but I wouldn't say it was like a focal point for me. Definitely just a great thing and a great honor to have.
Do you have a personal favorite moment of the year, whether on the court or off the court with your teammates?
So Emma Bedecker got a scholarship, and that was something that was really special. It was like a big surprise. So to be a part of it was really nice. Yeah, I think a lot of the team awards we had, there was one day where, you know, we kind of played a game to get to Kelly Commons and they announced a couple of team awards. So I was always happy to be a part of anything that had to involve our team. You know, we're a special group and we're really close with each other. So when someone got awarded something, whether it was on or off the court, that was just, you know, really special to be a part of.
I know the next season is far away, but do you have any goals that you've kind of set for yourself for the upcoming year?
Yeah, actually I had my end of the year meeting and we went over a couple of stats with the coaches, and I did have quite a few turnovers. So I was not happy with that. So I definitely want to limit that and raise my assist. Honestly, my individual goal and my team goal is just to win a MAC championship. That's my main focus. And I guess everything else would just come along with that.
Now, this is probably my hardest question. I told you I was going to have a hard-hitting question for you going into it. But I've seen a lot of performances from you on TikTok in the past couple of weeks now that women's basketball has a TikTok account. Who is better at TikTok, you or Christina Katsumori?
Wow. Well, I think that I secured that win in that TikTok battle, but she is definitely a funny girl, so she's got it.
Good answer. Very diplomatic. Well, thank you, Emily, and congratulations again. As I've said to you, being your team SAD, it's been a pleasure to watch. So we're excited for the future for you, and congrats on this award.
Thank you. Thank you for everything you did.
We will now bring in our male Rookie of the Year from our men's lacrosse team, Kyle Gukwa. Now, lacrosse obviously had a shortened season, but Kyle was very dominant in the games that he played. He was a 3-time MAC Rookie of the Week, and he was also the MAC Player of the Week after scoring 6 goals against VMI. So, Kyle, we're very excited to have you in here and get to chat with you today. How are you?
Sorry, we have a phone call coming in right now.
It's your fans.
I'm doing good though. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So obviously, like I said, your season was cut short, but just reading down your stats, I think it's safe to say that you had a breakout rookie season. So how does it feel to come into collegiate play, brand new to the team and to the MAC, and be so dominant in the games that you had?
You know, obviously, it's a huge honor, and it's great knowing that I was able to have an impact on my team in the first year that I was here. And you know, obviously, we're gonna carry that to next year with our season game cut short. And it was almost like a trial run for me because I get another year of eligibility back. So it's great to look forward to next year as well.
Yeah, I like that perspective, a trial run. But now everybody knows your name, so they're going to be gunning for you.
Yeah, it's great knowing that my peers also were able to recognize what I did as well.
For sure. So as I mentioned a couple of seconds ago, you were MAC Player of the Week after scoring 6 goals against VMI. But what I didn't mention is that it was on 7 shots. So how do you become that efficient offensively? That's amazing to me.
Well, we do a lot of shooting practice outside of practice. So when we're actually in our official team practices, we do a lot of competition-based stuff. And our coach loves having us do extra work on our own. So there's a lot of extra work, and our coach also loves when we shoot low. So I always just shoot the ball low and find its way in the net.
So you were part of the first freshman class to use the new, what we call GPAC, but the Gaelic Park Athletic Center locker rooms. And I wanted to know if you guys have created any pregame traditions in there.
No, I don't think we had any pregame traditions. Usually just we'd come in usually 2 hours before the game, listen to music, get ready. And we always stretched in the parking lot, actually. We never stretched in the actual stadium.
Why not just to kind of get it done before you went over to get in game mode?
Because one of our preseason scrimmages, we arrived late, so we had to stretch in the parking lot, and we played very well. So our coach wanted to carry that mentality of just good luck charm, I guess.
I'm very superstitious, so that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah, I am too.
So one of 2 freshmen here on our panel, can you tell us a little bit about what you've learned so far about being a Jasper, or what it means to be a Jasper student athlete?
I learned that the Jasper community is a big family. Every day going into practice, I felt like I was playing with some of my best friends and family members. It was never a drag to go in, and we all love playing with each other too. So it made things a lot easier.
That's awesome. Goalie, your teammate, Brendan Krebs, was the team MVP this year. And so I'm dying to know, if you guys played one-on-one, would you have more goals or would Brendan have more saves?
I think he would get a couple saves, but I feel like I would win that.
All right.
And I hope he's listening. So.
We'll have to test that out someday when we're all back together.
I'm looking forward to that.
All right. Well, thank you, Kyle. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I'm so excited to see, how the trial run of this year leads to your successes in the coming years. And thank you for everything that you do, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So before we start our next interview, we're going to try to run our top moments video and take a look back of all the highlights we've had this year from all of our teams. So we'll test that out right now with Whitney.
His turn back. Okafor breaks free to the hoop. High flyer sends it in.
Friends of Karen is a phenomenal organization that really helps families with children with serious illnesses. And we were able to fundraise a lot of money for them, and it'll very, very much help.
I feel great. They're a very great program. Trish just does an excellent job with them. I was just really proud of our team, and I just feel that it was a great breakout game, a great team win.
It was definitely exciting. We had some ups and we had some downs. We have a lot to learn from this experience, but really happy that we came out with a win at the end there.
The boys are about to head into the locker room for the first time. We're getting in there. Hey, we're getting.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
That was fun. Thank you, Whitney, for doing that. And I just want to, before we move into our next portion, just thank Whitney for setting this up and for figuring out how we could share these videos with everybody. I think this, had to kind of roll with the punches and do JASPYS the way that we normally would. And I think that this has been a great 3 days of honoring our kids. So thank you, Whitney, very much. We now turn to our student athletes of the year, voted on from a list of all of our team MVPs. And first up is our female student athlete of the year, Courtney Worley. Courtney was a MAC first team honoree this year. She was the first Lady Jasper to earn the accolade since 2011. She was also named All ECAC second team and All Met second team. She led the team in rebounding. She was second in scoring, and she just had a phenomenal breakout year. So welcome, Courtney. It's good to see you.
Hi, thank you.
Was winning Student Athlete of the Year a goal for you this season?
Kind of like what Emily said. I think individually and as a team, like we all have the goal of winning max, and then that stuff kind of just comes in throughout the year. So originally no, but it just kind of comes.
So since you started at Manhattan and you and I kind of started together, you've always been, to me, one of the strongest defensive players in the entire league. But this year you really turned it on the offensive end. So what was that process like to kind of put both together this season?
I definitely been growing a lot since I came to Manhattan, and defense always did come more natural to me. So once I came here, I really started focusing on my offensive game. So just having a mindset to be more aggressive on offense as I am on defense this year.
So I did not mention you are a center. So your ability to lead the team in steals as a center playing in that position is truly amazing. So can you tell us a little bit about what your technique is or what you're thinking when you're going to go for a steal, or how you kind of anticipate that that's something that you're going to be able to do on that play?
I honestly don't know. I've been playing with guards my whole life. So, I mean, I really can't say what I'm thinking. I just see the ball and try to take it. I really don't know what to say other than that. But I've always been playing like a fast, up-tempo kind of basketball and like really focused on defense. So I think it just comes a lot naturally.
So your team went 6-1 to finish the season in a tie for third place in the league, which was the highest finish in nearly a decade. What was the point where you guys realized everything was clicking and everything was working?
I think throughout the year we started like each game we took little steps, whether it was like a win or lose. We definitely took something from every game and just kept building on it. And then at the end of the season, we could definitely see that working out.
And like Emily, do you have any goals for next year now that you guys have taken home so much hardware?
Just to win Max. This is my class's last season coming up in the next year. We've been working hard for a couple years now, so definitely to win Max as a team.
And my final question for you, there is a video where your teammates literally jump on you when they learn that you were first team All-MAC. It's really awesome to see if anyone hasn't seen it yet. What is it like to have such supportive teammates and I would think also supportive fellow Jaspers?
They're great. They're honestly my second family away from home. The girls are my best friends. The coaches are amazing. And every time we do win an award, it's a team award, and Coach V makes it feel really special. So I love them all so much.
Well, Courtney, we're so excited for you to win this award as well as all the other ones you've had this year. And thank you for spending your afternoon with us. We appreciate it. And congrats again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We'll now move to our male student athlete of the year, Anu Amanuzi from our men's track and field team. Anu also had a fantastic 2019-2020 year. He is the MAC champion in the shot put. He also earned a PR at the IC4A championships in the event, hitting over 18 meters, and he's the Metropolitan champion in the shot put as well. So Anu, welcome. I'm so excited for you to have all this success this year. How does it feel?
Oh, that's great. Feels really good. It's kind of been a little while coming. So yeah, it was a really good season. You know, obviously annoying for it to end short when you're kind of up on the up and coming, but it kind of puts you a little bit more hungry for next year and to keep going.
So you've been a pillar of the throwing squad since you got to Manhattan, but this really seemed like a breakout season for you. So what do you attribute that success to specifically this year?
Oh man, I think I've been with the squad for a while. I came in as a freshman and sat out my first year, and I think that kind of got me into the mentality of teamwork. I think coming from Ireland, where track and field is kind of an individual sport, it's kind of interesting to come here and see that it's like quite a team sport, and that took me a little while to get adjusted to that, but I can definitely say that has like a big part to play in like the success of just having a good group of people around you that are like training back and forth with you, that are kind of pushing you, like you're competing with each other, but at the same time like you're trying to make each other better. So that's been a real like factor for me doing well this year, I think.
So of the Met Championship, the MAC Championship, and the PR at the IC4As, what was your favorite accomplishment this year?
Oh, that's a really tough question. Right, so I think I was thinking about this recently. I think it's kind of in between IC4As and the MAC Championship. I think the MAC Championship is always about your team. Something that we always talk about is one of our like mentality and our sayings is like do your job. It's like everyone has a job and you have to go out there and do it. And I think when it comes to the conference, you're not really worried about, you know, trying to hit a PR. You just kind of make sure that you're there to compete. So whatever the distance is, you just want to be at the top of it. So I think for me, it was just really nice to have a collective like win together. It's always great to win for yourself, but when you're collectively doing it together, there's something special about that. But I think so to answer your question, it'd be MAC. MAC would have been the big win for me.
I also forgot to mention you were the most outstanding field performer of the meet, so I can see why that would be a favorite.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it's always really nice to go over 18 meters. I think that was probably one. I'll always hold that out there, but I think outstanding performer kind of gives it a little nudge.
Yeah, for sure. The throw squad has, in my time at Manhattan, always been extremely tight-knit and supportive of each other. And how do you guys build that chemistry with each other?
It's something that we take a lot of pride in. I think it has a lot to do with our actual sport. Throwing is so technique orientated, and it's very easy to get quite frustrated or get really excited. It's just a lot of emotions, and I think when you have a sport that really needs, like, the best way to understand our sport is to be actually be a thrower. So like if you're a thrower, you know the feeling for it, and you know exactly what like the little cues are. And I think because of that, it's made us we've just been really able to communicate with each other. And even on bad days, it's good to have someone that will tell you, hey, like, today was a bad day, but yesterday, you threw 10 great throws in a row, and this week you're just missing this little thing. So like it's easy to like not get in your head. So they really help with that, like not getting in your head and just having a lot of grace for each other. We went kind of through a little period when we were kind of having a transition with coaching, and I think that was when we kind of solidified that family aspect of everyone kind of had to look out for each other. So it kind of be days of someone else sitting out and not really throwing for themselves, but like watching someone else throw, and we get to learn a lot from that as well. So it was cool.
Nice. So being from Dublin, as you mentioned, you have a really unique perspective on this panel of what it's like to come to Manhattan College as an international student athlete. So what was it about Manhattan or maybe New York City that really drew you to want to be a Jasper?
It was, so I mean, New York, it's New York. Everyone wants to be in New York. It's the hub of the world, the Big Apple. I think I had my apprehensions coming here, but I think when I kind of got to Manhattan College, there's just such a great community of like intentionality and care, and everyone supports everyone. I think that was the biggest thing for me when I moved here, was just seeing that like in a city where there's so many things going on, there's like everything's happening. There's just like this place where people really cared about each other and wanted to see people win. It was just really fun, and I felt like I could kind of build a like solid ground here and just be in a good space. So I said I'd stay longer, Well,
that's nice to hear. So I'm gonna bank on your being from Dublin advice again. Are there any Irish or even UK shows that we should be watching while we're all in quarantine? Because I know something.
That is a good question. Okay, so firstly, you have to go and watch Top Boy. Everyone has to go watch Top Boy. That's the number one recommendation for anyone I would give, is go watch Top Boy. If you can, go see Love Hate as well. Love Hate's a good Irish series, one of the best. So those are my two top ones. I'd give it to you.
All right. So what are they about? Can you?
Okay. Right. All right. Right. Okay. So Top Boy is about these two young guys, and they got involved in kind of the underground kind of like drug business in the UK, and it's just a kind of cool story of watching like guys kind of fight for their friendship, and they're put in a situation that they grew up in the situation, and they're trying to make the best out of it and trying to pull out of it, but at the same time take care of their community. So it's just a good story of like friendship and trying to look after your community as well.
That sounds good. So everybody on here watching Ozark, you have to go to Top Boy next.
Yeah, if you like Ozark, go watch Top Boy.
All right. Well, thank you, Anu. It was a pleasure to talk to you. And it was a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it was awesome to see everything you were able to accomplish this year. I'm so excited for your senior season. So congrats.
Thank you.
All right, we'll now move into the final portion of our interview, speaking to our Ms. and Mr. Jasper of the 2019-20 year. These student athletes are chosen because to the entire department, they epitomize what it means to be a Jasper, and whether that's in competition, in the classroom, or in the community. And our two honorees this year are Pam Mysius from women's basketball and Luke Hansen from men's lacrosse. So first we'll talk to Pam. Pam started her collegiate career actually as a walk-on the women's basketball team, and her commitment to the team and her hard work earned her a surprise full scholarship last season, which her team presented to her in a really awesome fashion. If you haven't seen that video either, Pam has worked her way into the record books for the team. She is in the top 10 in program history for blocks per game, and that's over just 3 seasons. So she's really accomplished a lot. She also is a gun medal nominee this year and a finalist for valedictorian. So she's also getting it done in the classroom and in the community. And Pam, welcome. It's exciting to talk to you today.
Well, Kelly, it's always a pleasure talking to you and doing these type of situations.
So really general first question, I want to know, how does it feel to be Miss Jasper?
It feels amazing. I really feel like from my first JASPYS and learning about the award, I really like understood like all that it encompassed. So like receiving the award like myself like speaks volumes like to be like recognized by my peers and everyone in like this way. So it feels amazing. I like am lifted as a person. I feel more confident about myself and everything. So I'm really grateful for this award.
So a lot of people have seen the video I mentioned of you being surprised by your coaches with a full athletic scholarship last year. But can you walk us through what that moment felt like for you and what it means to you?
That moment was insane. I wish like people could see the entire game being played because our team activities could be on Comedy Central. They're so funny. Everybody is just characters. It was hilarious, but like I waited so long for my turn. Like I was the last person to go. So when I finally got my turn, I thought it was like I made like the biggest joke about like even like picking the suitcase. I was like, whatever. And then when I picked it and then I like opened it, I was like also being super dramatic just because it was like, oh my God, are we gonna win a movie? Are we not? And then like everybody else saw like the words before me because I opened it backwards, of course. So like it was like a wave of excitement from like other people, and then I also kind of like read it backwards because like my brain can do that, I guess. And I read it backwards, and I was like, oh my gosh! And like before I could even like fully like process the thought, I was like trampled by like my teammates and just like surrounded by so much love, and like the moment like peaked like at such like in such a perfect way. So like I'm eternally grateful to like the coaching staff for like making it like that for me and like having that be a moment like in my life for like forever. So that's a little inside scoop. Definitely makes all the other team activities a little bit less, but still they're super fun. I enjoy them.
So switching gears to academics a little bit, you are a mechanical engineering major.
Yeah.
So that's extremely demanding. How have you been able to balance being a Division I athlete with your schoolwork, your internships, you know, trying to get into grad school now? How do you do that?
I definitely feel like, I know I walked on my sophomore year, but I definitely feel like my freshman year, I kind of like attacked my academics the same way that like I attacked athletics. So I really had a good foundation. I really understood all my prerequisite courses and like at a high level. So I definitely feel like I had a good base going into like trying to balance everything as an athlete and a student. And then I like learned like the more classes I did of mechanical engineering, I kind of knew more that that's exactly what I should be doing like in my life. I like the material comes to me very, not easily, but in a way that like I'm always more motivated to learn more and do more, and I get super excited about it. So I definitely feel like I can balance it more because like it in like a niche of like who I am, like I'm good at problem solving. And I definitely feel like I'm just super motivated to like do well in that field. So I definitely feel like that helps.
You wrote a really lovely note to Jasper Nation last week where you mentioned, you know, not taking any minute of being a Division I student athlete for granted. I was wondering if you could elaborate on that a little bit.
Being a student athlete includes so much more than just being on the court. It's the team meetings and the team activities, and it's the community service hours that we put in. It's the time in the weight room that you put in every week. Mike is there working with us. So it's about like taking those like outside opportunities also and being like, these are also going to help me grow like as an athlete and as a person. Like working in the weight room makes you a better athlete, period. Like that's where you start seeing your strides being made. And like doing the community service and doing like the breast cancer walk, and that's an annual event, and those type of events might feel mandatory like in the moment, but just understanding that those are also like opportunities for you to grow like as a person and hopefully like instill those values of like reaching out to the community and being a good person like that follows you for the rest of your life. Like that's kind of like that's what like my perspective on that. Like don't take those moments for granted. while you're in it, definitely.
Well, a little bit of a fun note before I leave you. I saw a video of you teaching Chris Williams how to hit the whoa. And hopefully I'm saying that right because I'm 100, so I don't even know. But have you acquired any new dance moves in quarantine?
Oh, do you guys want me to do the renegade right now?
I absolutely do.
I'm joking. I don't know how to do it. I'm just joking. I don't know how to do it. No, I'm still bowing in my part time. I can do it for you. I can do it for you guys. I'll definitely be learning some more TikTok moves after finals week. My focus right now is really school, so tune in. Once I get my TikTok, I'll share it with everybody, and I'll dance for everybody, of course, all summer long. So look out for that. Fantastic,
keeping us entertained. We love it. All right. Well, thank you, Pam, and congratulations. And fantastic job today, and good luck in graduate school, because I know that's the next step for you.
I'll see you guys next year.
So finally, we'll speak to Luke Hansen, our 2020 Mr. Jasper. Luke actually won 3 awards this JASPYS season. He was the Iron Jasper, the top academic senior, and the 2020 Mr. Jasper. So he had a pretty active 3 days this week. A 3-year team captain from men's lacrosse. He holds the MAC record, which he set this year in assists in a single game. And Luke, reading over your accolades, it's really insane to me that you've been able to accomplish so much. So welcome. I'm excited to talk to you.
Thanks, Kelly. Thanks for putting this all together.
We're very excited to do it, so you're welcome. Now, very seriously, do you have enough room at home for all of these JASPYs?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of live in the middle of nowhere, so I mean, we could put them somewhere, around the yard.
Same question I asked to Pam, but what does winning Mr. Jasper mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, I think the main goal of, going to Manhattan was to, leave it better than how we found it. And, winning this award kind of makes me feel like I made a major impact and kind of left this place, better than what it was when I got here. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a major award and happy to have achieved it. But I think the biggest thing is that, I know I made an impact, amongst the Manhattan college community.
So I mentioned some of your stats in your bio at the top, but in addition, you are 3rd all-time in the program for assists. You tied for 2nd in single season assists last year. And like I said, you hold the single game assist record for the MAC and for the school. So was getting your name in the record books a goal for you when you started here at Manhattan?
Not really. I mean, our number one goal is, to get to the MAC tournament and win a MAC championship. But I mean, all those accolades come because of the teammates that I have, especially the assist record that happened this year. I think the guys are shooting 50%. I mean, I had the easy task that day. I just stood behind the net and passed it to them. But, having teammates that work so hard and, work tirelessly every day to be the best they can for us as a team is very impactful and, allowed me to get those accolades.
So you were also a 4-year member of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC is what we call it in the acronym. But how has being a SAC member impacted your time as a Jasper?
It's been really good. I mean, I think the biggest thing that I took out of that is just the community service events that, we're able to attend. I think if we did it individually, it'd be tough to, get them and be a part of them. But, having the whole Manhattan College athletic program and especially our team, focus on community service, whether it be Riverdale cleanup, doing the Tunnel to Towers or the breast cancer walk, just having that and being able to go to those events really meant a lot to me. And I think it meant a lot to the school.
Do you have a favorite memory from your time as a Jasper, whether on the field or off the field?
I think my favorite memory probably came from our Bryant game last year, my junior year. It was a tough one because there's a lot of altercations going on with whether we were going to play outside or inside. And at the last moment, the Bryant coach kind of decided we were going to play inside. And it was, the previous 2 years, we kind of got a beat down from them, losing by 10 plus goals. And finally, we squeaked out a 1-goal win, and it was, one of my favorite moments, being an athlete here for sure.
I remember seeing that video. It was really cool. I didn't know you guys were playing in the bubble either, and I was like, oh my God, this is great.
Yeah, it was fun, but it was definitely a different experience, but definitely a cool experience to have.
Now, do you agree with Kyle that stretching in the parking lot is a good superstition?
It was an interesting one for sure. Coach Keller approached me before our first game this year and was like, I think I really want to, stretch in the parking lot today. We did it against Bucknell and Towson in our scrimmages, and I think we had a good day. And I was like, why not? Let's try it. I think it'll be a cool thing. And I think it comes with, the Manhattan College, grit that you have to be when you're an athlete at Manhattan College. I mean, obviously having the locker room this year was a big benefit, but, the previous 3 years, we were getting dressed in metal bins under the subway. So, being able to walk across and even stretch in the parking lot kind of brought me back to those memories and, where I came from and what our team came from.
I love you mentioning the grit of being a Manhattan student athlete. That is for sure. You guys are a tough bunch and you overcome challenges and adversity. And, it's really impressive to watch. I have to say that to all of you. So thank you for everything that you put into being Jaspers. It doesn't go unnoticed.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So Luke, thank you and congratulations. And thank you for everything you've brought to Jasper Nation. It's been an honor to have you here as well as all of our panelists. The last thing that we're going to do before I kind of close it out is play, hopefully, our tribute to our unsung heroes this year, which is an annual award. But this year we chose to kind of honor our spring sports student athletes, including Luke and Kyle and Will, who lost their seasons, and Anu as well, his outdoor season. We wanted to recognize them for their maturity with how they've handled this challenging time and kind of the things that have been thrown at them in the past couple of weeks. So hopefully we can get that video up and running.
We want to take a moment to say, thank you, spring sport athletes.
We want to thank the seniors who didn't know that they were playing their last game.
To the freshmen who didn't get to experience their first year of MAC competition.
To everyone who didn't get a chance to take that final shot.
Strike out that last batter.
Make that game-winning play. Or enjoy one final moment on the field with your teammates.
Thank you to all the athletes who missed out on a season of memories.
Practice time with teammates and coaches.
Road trips and laughs with teammates.
Achieving personal bests.
Playing in front of family and friends.
And thank you to the seniors who didn't get to experience senior day.
Or play the sport they loved one more time.
So we all just wanted to say, we know how hard each and every one of you have worked.
We saw you at practice.
In the training room.
In the weight room.
In the classroom.
We know you gave everything you had into being a student athlete.
We know you gave everything you had into being a Jasper.
Being a Jasper.
Being a Jasper.
Being a Jasper.
And while we can't give you back your season, we can say thank you. Thank you for making Manhattan College a better place.
Thank you for being a Jasper.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To every spring sport athlete, thank you for being a Manhattan College Jasper.
I love that video so much. I think it was so awesome and important for our fall and winter student athletes to recognize their fellow Jaspers who put in the time and the work, and unfortunately this year just didn't work out in their favor. So thank you to all of those student athletes that participated in that. It was a great way to honor our unsung heroes. So unfortunately now we've come to the end of our JASPYS live interviews, but I've had a fantastic time getting to talk to all of you guys, and I can't wait until we're all back together again and we get to see you in person. Thank you so much for joining us today, and a special thank you to everyone who tuned in. We wish all of our student athletes the best in this final week of classes, and we appreciate everything they bring to Jasper Nation each day. So be well. Thank you guys.